It is good, Aaliyah, because you hear me better. So I know I was in your ear last night. So,
Are you pimping or are you tricking?
you know, Lil E always tricking.
Save your hairlines. We out. Yo, what's going on? Retro J and the BYODING, man. And this is the Wild Do You Make Music podcast. And I'm here with my co-host, man. Say what's up to the people. Say what's up to the people.
What's good, y'all? What's good? It's D2N Ty in the building.
Bow! And we got, this is the part 2, man. This is the comeback of the century, man. Jordan with the 4-5 with no 4-5 on, you feel me? We got Shock Value. We got Plan B. We got A, B, C, D. I need more Plan Bs. Lor Reese in the building from Baltimore, Maryland. What's good with you, my guy? What's happening?
Dre? What's up, Dre? What's up, Ty? Thank you for having me back on here. Part 2. I know everybody been looking for it. Now here we are. Episode part 2. I know y'all gonna be excited for this one.
First things first, man. Who's your all-time favorite white mom?
My all-time favorite white mom. And you know, I've never thought about this. I never thought of it because I'm always talking about many.
Is it a big selection to choose from?
A little bit, but you know, actually no. Shout out Miss Vanessa. Miss Vanessa, shout out to you. You know, Lil E, you always laugh at my jokes and stuff, even when I'm so serious. But shout out to you. Hope to see you soon. You know, I'll probably say
That's your
that's
all-time.
what I can say publicly. I'll say that. I'll say that.
Why is she your all-time favorite white mom? Why?
You know, honestly, it's probably because not just her personality, which I kind of vibe with a lot. It's probably because how down to earth she is. Because a lot of people, they could put on a facade, but no, behind closed doors, you know, she's actually genuine. So, you know, I enjoy her presence anytime. We always have good conversations, regardless of what, you know, what topics we talking about, whether it's something new or something from the past and stuff. We can always, you know, I can always look to her for a conversation at any point, even if, like I said, it's something real crazy, because you already know how Lil E talk. He says anything that he thinks in his mind. So, yeah, Miss Vanessa, definitely somebody I can really, you know, hold my hat to if I had to.
So it's important to have the peoples with the vibes.
Yeah, see, like now
100%.
everybody they hearing this now, they saying like, well, I mean, I never heard you talk about. Yeah, that's because I kept it silent. I know I say everything, but you know, I'm saying it now. I'm being asked a question. I answer questions.
Has a white mom inspired you to make a record before?
Yes, yes. Yes. I know I answered that a lot, real quick, but yes, there actually is a record called "Give Me Your Hand," and it features me and my twin Lor Reese. And so, you know, Lor Reese. I'll give you a little small preview. Lor Reese, he basically saying like, you know, he has this person in mind. He likes this person. He wants something to go forward, have some progression going on. He sees progress, but he wants to maintain the progress. And then when I come in, that's when I kind of start off with the norm that people are used to me saying in my songs, but then I kind of change the trajectory where I kind of catch you off guard when you least expect it. So like when you hear my line, you'll be like, oh, here we go again, another one of his rants and stuff. But as you keep listening to my verse, you'll see that I switching it up for once to kind of show people that, you know, Lil E, yeah, I'm crazy and stuff like that for far as what I say. But in this song, you want to realize that I am capable of doing more than just saying what I say usually. So that's one song that's really been an inspiration for us, that community of ladies.
So Lil E is the one who like all the white moms.
Off the record, yeah. Lil E is the one who like all the white. Lil E the one who like all the white moms. He's Lil E is he's a character, all right, but he's also a real person, just a different last name.
So Lil
So
E's the
about-
milkman.
Yes, Lil E. Yes, I'm the milkman,
So
but
about
I'm the one
Reese.
that comes back.
What about Reese? What he into?
Reese, he's like Ethan, very chill, very laid back, doesn't do a whole lot.
He still like the white moms.
He does, but he has his limits. He doesn't go over. He doesn't talk about them all the time like
Okay.
Lil E does. But most of the time he has his. I'll say he has his variety of females he like as far as like race and stuff. He's not one side or anything. He has his variety. So yeah. So that's Reese and Ethan and Lil E. We already know how I am. So yeah, that's probably the breakdown of those two characters.
What's your favorite white mom line of all time that you spit?
I'm always out in Apex, penetrating white moms with no latex. You can't get mad when I say that. You know it's me. I give you that comedy that you seek. My favorite line. Has anybody heard that? Just now. But you'll hear it later.
What inspired you to write that?
With Lil E, I don't really know how these lines come in my head. They just like just appear. And so it's kind of like it throws me off sometimes because I'm like, man, I'm really coming up with these ideas just like out the blue. Like I could be driving somewhere or I could just be sitting down right here and I'll just think of something like that. Even though if it's like crazy anything, I still would write it because I will use that line and I can construct it later if I wanted to. Because, I just have something written down so when I go back to it, it goes back. But hearing what he just said, I don't know. He always surprises me all the time how he can come up with this stuff. And I feel like sometimes I'm taken aback how easy he come up with those lines. Because I come up with some creative stuff, but it's like that's a little too far. So like I feel offended sometimes, like when I hear him say those things. Like me and Lil E, we have our big differences, but at the same time, I still support him. So just don't hurt me too bad with that. So yeah. It's just random. It's I don't know where.
Now you have a record called "Provoke Me," which was out for a little while, but you took it down.
Yes.
And you haven't put it back up.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite records of yours, but you took it down. Why did you take that record down?
Provoke Me, fucking getting. Yes, I recorded that. That might have been the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, something in that timeline. But yes, that was probably my darkest song I have out. Had out. I took it down because my purpose. I realized what my purpose was going to be for. I got the plays that I wanted to have, and I got that song to reach the person I wanted it to reach. That actually was not a Lil E song. That was not my song. That was Lor Reese. That was his song. That was the only time he ever. That's why he named it Provoke Me, because he was, he's a chill person, but a situation like that provoked him so bad to make a record like that. It kind of, was crazy. And so I had took the song down because, like I said, it reached the person I wanted it to reach. But I looked at it more in the aspect like, I want people to know about this song, yes, but I want them to, talk about it in a way like, what did it sound like for it to be, dark? Everybody says dark. Why? Like what? And because I can't find it on the internet, or I can't hear the audio. So what? Like have people scramble trying to find it? Like I don't know, somebody working on a project trying to break things down, trying to see where they want to go. That's why that's why I took it down and haven't put it back up, because I want people to kind of have their own assumptions of what the song could have been about. Like how XXX Tentacion, he had songs he had up and then he deleted, and people have been trying to look for them ever since. They still are. I don't have any plans of putting that song back up. Like I said, it's a treasure hunt. If you find the audio, congratulations, and you get to share it and stuff like that. But I will not be putting that song back up. And Retro Dre was on the engineer for that song, and I for that song, honestly, when he heard the first line, I already knew he had an idea of how he wanted this to go, as far as mixing, and I ain't had to say nothing. And the final product, let's just say, was marvelous.
Side note, we might not include this on the show, but y'all seen them throwing dildos at WNBA games?
Yes.
What?
You didn't see that?
No.
Man, whoever threw that though at Sophie Cunningham, you.
Yo,
You can't throw that at my girl like that.
Happened twice recently.
What
Happened twice.
made somebody? Yeah, who let them in with that number one?
I mean, how you gonna check it? If they got it on, how you gonna check?
It's not like
do
they
you
at TSA where they just pat you down or whatever. They be like, I mean,
You
If
they
you
had it
security,
on coming
right?
In, it was probably in their bag.
But what if they got it on them though? I mean, like on them.
I highly doubt a girl did that.
if she did, I mean,
Yeah, if a girl did that, bro,
if she
That-
did, she would have
that's insane.
she would have had to been making faces that entire time, especially sitting down.
How'd you find it in my studios, man?
So it was June 2022. My cousins had came down because of my graduation, and my cousins had came down, and me and my cousin, we planning on going to the studio. I had somebody that I went to before, and I hit him up. I was like, "Yo, you got a session for this day?" He was like, "Nah, I'm booked." So I was like, "All right." So my cousin Pharaoh, he had looked on Google, and he found AMI. He was like, "Yeah, it's in Raleigh, and it looked legit." I said, "All right, bet, book it." So we on my phone we had texted, and then we set up an appointment. I can't remember what day that was that we came over, but we had set up an appointment, and because that might have been Friday, Saturday, something like that. And so they was like, I can't remember who I was talking to. He was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be working with Dre today." I'm like, "All right, bet." That was the first time I met Dre. Very first time we met him. And from the start, I was like, yeah, he nice with it. I ain't even send him the beat of a song I was gonna do. I was like, yeah, he nice with it. And so, first song I recorded was Mackenzie's song, and my cousin Pharaoh, he had a song called "Fake Love." Hey Pharaoh, when you gonna drop that one? I've been waiting on that one. But nah, he had a song called "Fake Love," and the third song we recorded was a collaboration. Me and him was called 4 a.m. in Baltimore. I know everybody was like, "Oh, where the part 2 at, yo?" I'm gonna try to get that one together, but things happen, But yeah, 4 a.m. in Baltimore. And what really got me locked in with Dre was just how effortless he made things look. I said, well, I mean, obviously, but I was like, man, damn, he doing. Because when I make songs and stuff like that, and I want them to get them mixed, I have a kind of like a visual how I want it to be. But this one, I just didn't really have that visual, and he just did his own thing. And one of the big things that caught me and Pharaoh's attention was when he had slowed the track down just like that. We said, "Yeah, no, this it right here. This it right here." And so after that, I've been coming here since. So that's how we found out on Google, because my cousin had found it, and basically related to me. And so, yeah, plus it's close to my house as well. So it's like, I don't know, 20 minutes, but close enough. But yeah, no, I always have, like I said, I always have a good time coming here. I mean, that's why I'm here right now, right? But yeah, overall, I know Dre the nicest on the keys, so yeah, that's how we found out about AMI. Haven't looked back since.
What would you say
Maybe
was
three.
like the big difference to have you to like, you know, keep coming back to AMI versus like, you get what I'm saying, like the other two? I know you said Dre with the, you know,
Yeah,
quick and stuff, but is it more like an experience thing? Is it like, you get what I'm saying? Like what?
maybe the experience, because I can't remember how long that person was doing it. I know he was doing it for a while, but I'll probably say the quality. Because when I played Mackenzie's song to compare it to the song I had recorded with the other one, it was a big difference.
Like it just sound clearer, better?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And I was like, this is what I envision when I come to the studio. It's a quality like this. And when I put the songs, I want people to be like, yeah, that's studio quality, because it is. That's how I.
You
Yeah.
think it was Dre, or you think it was like materials and like as far as like the sound, like because I don't know how to
On the beat,
you know the other studio was set up.
yeah. See, now he had a different. He wasn't at his main location. We was at like an apartment complex, I remember. So we had a rented space, so it was not in his ideal zone. But here, regardless, yeah, no, it's everything here. I don't know why everything here just screams, yes, I need to come back here.
Smooth.
And so I haven't looked back, because I mean, anytime I tell somebody I go to the studio, I'm like, yeah, this is where I go if they ask me. Because I mean, like I said before, it's a family. I feel like a family here, and so
So
me,
it's more of like an environment thing, like what you're around.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And like I said, me and Dre will work together on some songs, whether it's, if it's constructing the song differently or just completely rewriting one, or just taking a word out and then implementing a new word. We work together to make it work.
Smooth,
Yeah.
smooth.
You got a favorite song of yours?
Yeah, some people have asked me this. My favorite song is not Charmaine Walk. No, it's not. My favorite song is Kicks and Giggles. Kicks and Giggles, The Moment With You, Cannot Destroy the Bond We Got. Yeah, Kicks and Giggles. Yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite song. Why? Probably because who I was speaking to, and how how I really meant everything I said. And yeah, that's one of my favorites. That's probably why it's my favorite song, because in that point in time, the person I was with, I made that song about her, and I like all these emotions that I, surprised I really had. I was just writing them down. So it was all coming together, and it all came together in that song. And so, that beat that I had, I was like, it's really perfect. I felt like it was a good fit for that. And, that's where I kind of came up with the idea of Kicks and Giggles. And I called it Kicks and Giggles because, me and her, anytime we would interact, it'll always be a good time. Laugh a bunch, enjoy each other's company, this, that, and the third, like anything in a fine relationship. So that was my reason for call it Kicks and Giggles, and that's one of the reasons why it's a favorite song of mine that I've made.
Okay, word. That's what's up. I was going through your catalog these past few days, right? And I noticed you got a lot of club type bangers in your catalog. Meaning, kind of going to the beat selection of it for the most part, because like tracks like, even though you took down Provoke Me, but also on other tracks too. I gotta look them up specifically to name them because I don't get them wrong. But I'm like, dang, you got a lot of like club records. I'm thinking, like, yo, if you really put some like motion behind these records for real, they could go.
Yeah, see, like don't get me wrong, people. My memory is not the greatest, so there's songs I don't remember, doing,
Like
whether
Charmaine
it's here
Walk,
or it's yeah. See, Charmaine
Yesterday.
Walk. Shemaine Walk is I guess you can say the granddaddy of them all, like WrestleMania, how they present that.
Hit the
That's the song.
gas.
Yeah, Hit the Gas.
Isabel.
Shout out to Miss Izzy Gornall. Yeah. So yeah, I gotta. Let me see.
Spotlight's my shit.
Yeah, Spotlights go hard. Yeah, I was playing that the other day because I haven't heard it in a while. I said, man, I was really dragging on that song. I was so dragging to the point where in the middle of the song, I'm like, y'all want to know why my name is Lor Reese? And here you go. Like, yeah. So yeah, Shemaine Walk is the one everybody know, everybody recognize, and then like you said, Hit the Gas, Spotlights, Yesterday, you can kind of look at Yesterday like a Shemaine Walk. It's short, but not short as Shemaine Walk. Yesterday has a cadence just like Shemaine Walk, though I'm not repeating the same name over and over. But because how the song go, I was flirting with Isabella since the other day. That's when I seen her. I said, yeah, yesterday. Got invited to a party later on today. Once I pulled up, found out it was yesterday. Yeah, like that. Yeah, so like, Kaden, Shemaine Walk. That's the main walk. Shemaine Walk. Yeah. So it's like the similar cadence. I really do enjoy Yesterday because, real quick, story about Yesterday. When I was writing that song, or let alone the hook, the original line was, I was flirting with Ruby Rose since the other day. They asked when I seen her, I said, yeah, yesterday. But I thought about it, I was like, I haven't been in contact with her at all. And I was like, all right. So I switched it again. I was like, I've been flirting with India Love since the other day. They asked when I seen her. And I was like, well, and I sent it, because I was in that for a brief story. I was in contact with India Love. We was talking for a little bit, not talking, but having little conversations here and there. But I sent her what I had written, and she was like, I like it, but do it fit? And I was like, it does, but she had me thinking. I was like, would it really roll off the tongue by saying I've been flirting with India Love since, like, would it really captivate people's attention? And so I was like, well, I knew I wanted a female's name in there, but and that I've been in contact with. And I'm like, well, who could I? And that's when I thought about Isabel, and that's when I came up with the third. Hers was the third version of the hook, which became the final product. And I was like, yeah, that definitely rolls a lot better, because I'm not saying her first and last name. I'm just saying her, I guess you can say, nickname. So yeah, Yesterday, Hit the Gas. That's another one. Hit the Gas is a song you can play in the car and you can get hyped to. Make sure you're not around other cars and get too hyped. But I'm trying to think of other songs I got. See, I can't remember offhand. Yeah, no, I can't remember some. Like I said, some of the songs I don't remember the way it goes. But yeah. So that's how all that happened. So
have you been in like a club setting and played some of them out there yet?
Yes, I was in. I don't know how many people know this, but in 2023, I was in Dominican Republic. Punta Cana specifically, and I was at the resort called I can't remember the name of the resort, but it was a really nice resort. But they had a club there, and I remember in the club it was playing songs Bad Bunny and all them other people, and then they had played Shemaine Walk. I got a video. I still had the video of it. They played Shemaine Walk on the club. People was dancing to it and stuff. It was I'd probably say it was the only song that was in full English, because not everybody was speaking English. So that was probably but that was probably the only time recently that I've been in the club setting where Shemaine Walk or any of my songs have been played. So as of now, I still got a lot of time. So yeah.
I had to ask you, man. How come you're not pushing your songs like that? Because you got a few hands. You got about 10 singles out. How come you ain't putting enough gas behind your records to really push them out to the audience to see what it does?
2023 was the summer of Lor Reese. I can say that with confidence. 2023 was the summer of Lor Reese. Like I said, I had Shemaine Walk. That was so hot. It was hotter than, Britney Spears. It really had everybody talking. I had people at my job. They was always, and my grandparents, my mom, my parents, everybody was on that song. I mean, everybody was, talking about that song. And that was my peak. And during that time, I was really thinking to myself, like, man, so this would have felt like. I got a taste of what that big success feel like. And 2023 was, outside of 2015 was my favorite year. And then the next year I had high hopes until things took a drastic turn.
You feel like there's anything you did different?
Yeah, with Shemaine Walk specifically, as soon as I finished recording that day with Dre, because it was the 1st of March, I had screen recorded the audio and then posted it, because I remember the dialogue was the catchphrase was something about because it's named after my sister, so it was something like, you gonna be saying my sister name, blah blah blah, something like that. But far as since then, I had a lot going on in 2024, which really killed all the momentum as far as promoting stuff. I had so much things happening back to back to back last year. And it kind of took a drop as far as promotion and consistency. Even this year in the beginning, I was consistent, and then I've noticed I've started to shy away from promoting my stuff. Like Dre said, I do have a lot of songs that I feel like a lot of people would really love. And I think another reason is, being too specific and trying to find that thing where it is something I visualize and then put out for people. When I know somebody can just be like, don't worry about all that. Let the people decide for you. Don't decide for them, because they're your audience. You're the one who's making it for them. And so I don't want. That's because I'm very specific with a lot of things. So that's why sometimes I hold myself back, because I'm like, I'm gonna wait until I find the perfect time.
There is none.
Right, there is none. So just do it. So I'm trying to get better with getting back, because I haven't recorded anything recently, but I have stuff that's already out where it's worthy enough where it doesn't matter how long ago it was, it's still good enough where it holds up in 2025. Like Shemaine Walk or Hit the Gas, or I can't even, or Spotlights, stuff like that. Regardless of the year, how they was a couple of years ago, they still can hold up, because it's new audience who haven't heard that song before. For later information, watch the plays roll. So yeah, I did have a song called She's Bad. She Bad. That was what it's called. She Bad. That was probably another one I enjoyed as well. That one got its plays, but I haven't, like I said, got to do that again. It's like any of them. So try to get better on that.
So what's your plans as far as the rest of this year, music-wise?
Well, y'all know I dropped Plan B. So if y'all want to play that record for me, go ahead, do that. But no, I'm gonna just let things flow. I got a lot of things on my mind, far as personally, that I'm trying to, see how they go before I fully invest into. Because I don't want to fully invest something into a music project and then have to not terminated, but had to put it on hold because something bigger had popped up. I want to just let things flow. Like I said, I haven't recorded a song recently, not because I don't want to. It's because I had some things where I had to kind of take care of and still taking care of now before I, swing back to doing my profession, I guess you can say, or my craft. So that's the rest of them. That's how the rest of my year is gonna look. Just let it flow, Um, I only have high hopes for 2026, so that's how I'm looking at it moving forward.
Recently, you came in the studio one day and you found out you had diabetes, man. What was that like?
Yeah, so I had talked about it in my song, in the freestyle, just like that. Yeah. But no, last year, it was a year ago, July 14th, 2024. It was 72 hours after my birthday. I was at Wake Med Hospital, because I had type 1 diabetes. Um, it was weird because the end of June, the beginning of July, I was perfectly fine. Even the week of my birthday, I was perfectly fine. My birthday was on a Thursday last year, and I was perfectly fine until the next day on Friday. I remember I went to work. It was raining like how it is now. I was just in terrible shape. I had a hard time getting out the bed. I had what it was. I had a hard time standing up straight without having to lean over to feel better. Me leaning over, I like that, but me leaning over was the only way I could really
Feel at ease a little bit.
feel at ease. Yeah, because standing up straight, it was making me feel sick, and I didn't know what that was. I thought it was something I ate or whatever. The cliches. So I go to work. It was pouring down, raining like crazy, and yeah, that day was terrible. Most of my and I don't know how, but I did a 6-hour shift that day, and I somehow kicked through it. But most of the shift, I was in the break room just sitting down because I'm like, I cannot do this. I really cannot. And then I was scheduled for the next day on Saturday. Early in the morning, I woke up. I was like, I stood up. I was like, nah, something not right. So I went to the bathroom. Then I had puked. I'm laying on the floor. I'm like, oh boy, howdy. What's going on? What did I eat? What did I drink? What? And so, my mom took me to the urgent care. Backstory on that. Their asses is shut down. Their ass is shut down. So when I went, I said I couldn't like even in the car I was not standing up straight like this. I was that badly in shape, and my mom parked right in front of the front spot. I had the hardest time getting inside that building. My mom, who doesn't have the greatest stamina because of her issues, had to help me. And so when I got there, when I walked in, first chair I saw that was open, I just flopped right in there. And I had to get up to sign my name. I was like, damn, I had to like force myself to get up because it had gotten worse. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And so, fast forward, they told me, they checked my blood pressure, this, that, and the third, and a doctor or whatever he is, he had said that I had heat stroke. I'm thinking in my head like, well, shit, heat stroke. I can just chill, let that brush off. And he gave me, goddamn, what's the, oh my God, I can't remember what it started with a P. Whatever it was, we got that. And that was disgusting. Never in my life. I don't recommend it for anybody.
Pedialyte?
Yeah, Pedialyte.
I see.
I don't recommend that for anybody, whether you feel good or not. Don't drink that shit. It's garbage. But it made me worse. And so Sunday morning, the same thing happened. Puked in the bathroom, laid on the floor. So they was like, okay, take him to the emergency room. What is going on? So we get there. I don't remember nothing. So I briefly remember laying in the bed. The lady was like, he don't look too good. Let me check him for type 1. And then I don't remember much nothing after that. I was probably in there, I guess, 2-3 hours allegedly. Then I was transported to Wake Med, which I stayed for 72 hours, which was the July 14th. Yeah, so I was like, and then when I first got there, I was like, well, it gotta be some way I don't got type 1, right? Cause I was fine the beginning of the week, and I was fine a week ago. And so yeah, no, and my early struggles was getting adjusted to having to change my eating habits and drinking habits. Not like I was drinking alcohol or anything. No, just like sodas and stuff. You know, I gotta be cautious. Fast forward, 2025, I am much more improved, much more stabilized. I am very thankful that at the time I had my appointments very consistently and been accommodated very accordingly so that, you know, I can make sure everything with me is good. Cause like I said, that was something brand new for me. I was 21 years of my life. I was fine. I was eating McDonald's. I was eating Chick-fil-A, Burger King, Wendy's, Popeyes, all you can eat, all you can name, even though I was picky up until recently.
That food.
Yeah. And so, but
They kill a nigga special.
yeah. But yeah, you know, now, you know, I'm very well maintained, still have my appointments. And so, but everything has been much more improved. Like I have, like right here on my arm, this is my Dexcom patch for anybody curious if they ever saw it. That's to track my blood sugar, make sure that everything's good. I have an app for that, which monitors it. And then on my right side here, you can't see it, but I have a pump which pumps insulin in for me. That's my Omnipod. You know, but I ain't gonna go too in deep, but you know, look at it if for people who have diabetes and they want something automatic, I guess automatic is because it's automatic. You don't have to, no needles. I just have a plastic needle that plucks me and that's it. But if anybody is curious, it's called Omnipod. You can ask your nutritionist or whoever to see if what they can do for you if you're up to it. Dexcom. I have a Dexcom G7. This is no sponsor, by the way, for anybody. There's no sponsor. I'm just saying my personal experience. They have a G7, which is the newest model they have, and they have a G6 that is the oldest one. Think of it like Xbox, current gen and, you know, old gen, or however you want to look at it. So yeah, that, you know, I'm glad, but like I said, I'm glad I was able to be accommodated so efficiently at that time, because that was a rough time. But that was a rough time, but that was not my darkest time in that year at all. But yeah,
If you can speak on it, what was your darkest time during that year?
my darkest time was the month of September leading up to the middle of October. So in August, my mom had surgery. She had ankle surgery. She had to camp out in a hotel for a little bit, for like almost 2 months, you know, to get recovery, and plus, you know, be on the one level floor. And so, well, she was, you know, we went up to the elevator, but still, it was one level, because we have 3 flights of stairs in the house. So, you know, that's not going to work, right? Especially somebody just coming out of surgery, fresh out. But no, that was one thing. But the darkest is what she told me in September. She was like, my grandmother was very sick. And you know, at first I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, she's very sick. And I was like, well, I couldn't tell, because anytime me and her would be on the phone, you know, it would be normal, but it would sound like she would be sleepy, because at the time we would talk. That's how I looked at it. But no, little did I know. We went up to Maryland in September to go to the Ravens-Bills game, Sunday Night Football. And when I got to my grandparents' house, I saw my grandmother. First thing I thought in my head was, I was shocked. because I was like, well, I see it in person now instead of over the phone. I see it in person, and it was surreal because I heard she was very sick, but I didn't know to the extent. But when I saw her, it gave it away. And so, we go to the Ravens game. I had a great time there. We had good seats. We had a Ravens God bus. If anybody want to go to a Ravens game, take the bus. Don't drive. Take the bus. It's only $30 per person. But no, that was a Sunday, obviously. So we were supposed to leave on Monday, but things took a turn. It was Monday morning. I was waiting. I had my stuff packed, waiting so we can drive back here in North Carolina. And my grandfather came in my room. He was like, I gotta call the 911. It's not. Your grandmother says she can't breathe the way she wants to. And so I was like, fuck, okay. So we call 911. They get here, and they transport my grandmother to the ambulance. She wanted to go to Sinai because she was going to go to Sinai for treatment anyway. But they took her to Northwest Hospital. For people who's familiar with Maryland and stuff, Northwest Hospital in Woodlawn is closest to closest hospital from where my grandparents live at. So yeah, transported there. Me, my grandfather, my parents, we all sitting in the lobby. My cousins, they had came as well. And my uncle. And we was there, and we was hoping that we could at least go in to see her, but they was like, no visitors, only the husband, only the spouse. So my grandfather went, and so we was like, well, okay. And it was getting late because that's a 5-hour drive coming from here. Yeah. So what we did was the hotel my parents were staying at, because I was staying with my grandparents. The hotel they was at, the expiration that expired, so they already checked out because we didn't think this would happen. Mm-hmm. So we just got a hotel real quick for one night, and then So then fast forward to October 22nd, 24. I was at work like normal. Later that night, I came downstairs to try to give me a snack, and as I go back upstairs, my mother stopped me. And she had to tell me something. I'm thinking, okay, what she got to tell me? That's when she told me that my grandmother had passed away. I didn't say anything. I stood right at the steps to go up to the third level. I was standing right there. Then I walked over to the couch. I sat down. I didn't say nothing. Not because I was like, oh, what I'm going to say. It was shock. That's why I didn't say anything. And I was like, I said, I mean, this year can't get any worse. Like, goddamn. And the only thing in that whole parameter from where I was sitting, because I was sitting here and I have a couch on the other side, like where the camera's facing. And the only thing I was staring at, we have a picture framed on the wall of me, my parents, and my grandparents when we was out for my grandfather's birthday. And that was the only thing I was staring at, was that picture. Because if I'm correct, that is the last picture of all of us, every single one of us in that picture at the same exact time. I could be wrong, but far as what I profoundly remember is that picture. And I was like, I was like, damn, that was the only thing like I said, I didn't say anything. I didn't say nothing at all. And I remember we was originally supposed to go to Chicago on the 24th. But then we pivoted to go to Maryland because my grandmother was still in the hospital. And then I guess you can say we had to pivot again because she passed away. So we had to pivot 3 times. It was a lot of pivoting in 2024. And we're in August now of 2025. this is my first year without my grandmother. And boy, howdy, from the 22nd of October to the rest of my life, it will never not be a day where I don't miss my grandmother. I mean, I give you great examples like when I see people out when I'm out and about and I see like like a little boy or whatever and they with their grandparents or their grandmother specifically. That really gets to me because I'm thinking in my head like, shit, he got his grandmother and I don't. So that's how But I've managed to cope with it. Last year was so ridiculous. I mean, I lost my aunt who I was close to as well in January. So losing your aunt and your grandmother in 9 months in the same year. If this was somebody else, they would have been in the psych ward. All the stuff that I had endured 2024, people ask me, people tell me, they're like, bro, I don't know how you did it, but you sure as hell did it. You never broke. At least publicly. Behind the scenes, boy howdy. But publicly, I made it seem like everything was fine, even though they were far from it. So, I'm still dealing with it, obviously. I will always deal with it forever, even in the afterlife. But yeah, that was my dark, not me having diabetes. Yes, that was a big moment, but my darkest moment was that. My whole family, just like that, practically just ripped away from me. So that was a dark moment. That was a dark moment. Yeah.
And I know that that probably affected your music and stuff that you were.
Oh yeah. I mean, even with the diabetes stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The diabetes and then my aunt passed. Yeah, like last year, all last year was back to back to back. Cloud hanging over my head. While 2023 was sunshine and giggles. So yeah, and that really kind of affected the trajectory of how I've gone about that. Cause I released some stuff last year, but I didn't really have the same,
drive
drive for it like I did 2023. So, but
so I know you mentioned this last podcast, but what they got to look forward up for you for next couple weeks, next couple months or so, just to finish up on 2025. Like you got some projects releasing, some content, some something to put out there for them.
Yeah, I have the Jamie Lynn Spears song coming out. It's not finished, but I kept playing it back, and I was thinking maybe how I have it is good. I just throw some ad libs on there. I was gonna mention that to you too. I was like, because we got the beat left over and after a line, and I was like, some songs they'll have it like that. So I was thinking maybe like it's good how it is, and I was just throw some ad libs on there to fill out some spaces, because you can hear like how I have a pause in certain stuff. But regardless, the Jamie Lynn Spears song, the Sophie Cunningham song, the song "Give Me Your Hand" featuring me and Lor Reese. The song "Give Me Your Hand." That probably would be my favorite song. So yeah, those you can look forward to.
Get remix featuring Lor Reese comes.
Oh yeah, yes, the Get remix. I got a whole verse for it.
Anything else you would like to tell the people real quick, man, before we get up out of here?
Aaliyah Bradshaw, I appreciate you. I solely appreciate you. And to all the white moms out there, I appreciate y'all a whole lot more. But overall, off the record, no, I'm just very thankful for all I have, Like I said, all the things that happened last year, all the support, all the consistency I've had, I really, really am glad that I have those people to, have those people in my corner who can, help guide me, assist me, and stuff like that. Yeah, that's as far as Ethan's, and Lil E. I said what I said, so that's that. So yeah.
Well, before we let you go, man, we got a couple rapid fire questions we want to ask you, man. So,
Pop quiz. Am I ready for it?
all right. What's your worst job?
My worst job all time, Five Below.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right.
I can see it.
Favorite shoes?
Favorite shoes. Barclays 94.
What colorway?
All black.
Okay. Favorite jersey?
Favorite jersey all time. Any sport?
Yeah.
Any sport? I'll say one from my collection. A Dallas Mavericks number 70 Dennis Rodman jersey.
What are your thoughts about marriage?
Marriage. Ethan, Aaliyah, or Lil E and Aaliyah, or Ethan and Izzy. I hope they don't hear that. No, my opinions on it. In the past I was like, nah, I didn't really have no thought about it till I met somebody, and then they became a candidate, and so my opinions did change. So my opinion now is I like the idea because that gives you stability. I know things happen and things tend to work out, and things tend to don't work out, but it's more so on the people. If you had two people that obviously love each other and stuff like that, but also if you had two people who are consistent and can maintain anything, regardless if it's hard, it'll work out.
When is it necessary to hit the gas?
Like driving?
Just when is it necessary to hit the gas?
When you're on the road and you're just in the mode or in the mood, Vince McMahon style.
Are you pimping or are you tricking?
Lil E always tricking. Wait, let me see. Hold up, real quick. Let me see. Lil E. Oh, this is my favorite line. This is my favorite line that I came up with recently by Lil E. I live my life like an actor. I'm always in the movie scene. I live my life like an actor. I'm always in the movie scene. So I'm always thinking. I was in a situation where there's a movie called Lion Eyes. And there's some things I was going to try to replicate with somebody, but it didn't. My mission was failed. Certain things in that movie I was going to take out because I was not going to do that. But primarily in that movie, it's called Lion Eyes, 1996 with Cassidy Ray.
Favorite mistress?
I don't know any off the top of my head.
Reason I ask because you got in the song you're talking about Monica Lewinsky, so.
Oh yeah, I did say that. Yes, that was Drew Barrymore's song. No, that was just for the song. I don't think I have one.
Favorite OnlyFans model?
What was her name? Dream Girl Kylie.
Favorite lyrics by yourself or others?
For Lor Reese, my favorite would probably be I like to date white girls to see what that mother look like. That's probably one. Or no, you know what? Let me see. I got a catalog in my notes where I have lines and stuff. Oh, my favorite line that I came up with recently for Lil E is yeah, I'm livid. I done left the house without Britney Spears giving me kisses. Got a white girlfriend. Where the people at with that diss is. That was recent. I never gave much thought about any of my favorite lines for both characters. So.
With that being said, thank you all for viewing in the early day, the midday, or the later part of the day. My name's Retro Dre, and we appreciate you all for being on Hold on, wait. Why the You Make Music podcast. And Lor Reese, tell them why the should they check you out on all platforms, man?
Off the record, I did Lor Reese the last time. Now I'm gonna do Lil E. The reason y'all should check me out is my music is very, very entertaining. I'm always trying to make somebody laugh, regardless if I'm in poor taste or regardless if I say things in poor taste. I always will catch your attention. I always want somebody talking about, yeah, you heard what he said in that song, yo. So check me out. I still got a couple of songs out of that I'm gonna drop eventually, but overall, I'm just a very fun person who likes white moms. That's why you should check me out. I'm very much entertaining, more entertaining than Ethan or Lor Reese. You know, they got their own things. I don't hate it, but over here, this is where you want to have your laughs, your kicks and giggles and all that stuff. So check me out if you want entertainment. And like I said, it's all for entertainment. So check me out. Just like Aaliyah did. And look where we at now.
And also, pull up on the co-host, man. To my left, you're right on the screen. D2M Ty, Dreams and Motivations, D2M Car Wash. You need your car spick and span, hit them up. They got you.
Yes, sir. Let's get it done.
And always appreciate AMI Studios for letting us house our production and our show here. We appreciate y'all. Y'all need some fire music. Y'all need some fire vocals. Y'all need some fire audio book recording. Y'all need some fire podcast production and recording. Y'all know what to do, man. Artist Mill Studios on Instagram. AMI Studios NC.com, the book. Y'all know where it's at, man. 5205 Oak Park Road, Suite A, Raleigh, NC, 27612. You already know, man. With that being said, y'all got anything else y'all want to say to people real quick before we close officially?
Our socials. Where they can find you on social media, man.
You can find me on Instagram. You can find Lil E on Instagram at Extra Explicit. That is XXTRA Explicit XXPILICT on Instagram. And you can find me, Lor Reese, on Instagram at Baltimore Up Next 300. That's Baltimore, then Up Next 300 on both Instagram and platforms. You can find it under Lor, LOR Reese, Reese with a $S dash Lil E on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, you name it.
So many questions, not enough answers. That being said, you can find me on all platforms at retro__Dre. It's RETRO__DRE on all platforms. Also, too, if you see retro D.R.E, that is me as well. I just had to make a name change and alteration so it's easier for you all to find me in what I do. So with that being said, that's where you can find me at.
You can find me on all platforms. D2M Ty is gonna be my personal. You can also find me at Dreams and Motivations on all platforms as well. That's the label. So, just reach out to me. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah. And always remember, don't be scared to not give a about why you make music. Don't be scared to not give a about what you do. Don't be scared to not give a about what people think, because they don't matter anyway, man. As long as you're doing what you love and you love what you do and you're passionate and you're doing the research and you're putting the time and you're keeping your grind going, That's all that matters, man. There's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna say whatever about you. Welcome. And with that being said, we out of here. If you scared, hey, look, you're not gonna be dope the first time you do something.
If you scared, you got Lil E as motivation. Yeah, I'm a role model in this scenario. You see what I say in my stuff. You think I'm scared? Yes, because what if Aaliyah hears that? She kind of, questions me about it. Or Izzy. Yeah, probably Izzy, yeah. Nah, overall, I say what I say. I stand on business. Yeah, so there's your extra motivation right there. It's not a TED talk, but I can talk.
And with that being said, man, save your hairlines. We out.
That'd be funny if that'd be like an intro, like save your hairlines and just cut out. They like, what the hell he used to say?